and welcome to Chesapeake Weekly Home Edition. Election Day is 1 week away. And in light of COVID-19, we're doing a lot of things differently these days, and of course, Election Day is no different. So here's what you can expect next week. First of all, there are 5 precincts that have been relocated to different buildings. Those precincts are Churchland, Oaklet, Tanglewood, Pleasant Crossing, and Cypress. The new locations for those precincts are listed at cityofchesapeake.net/vote. It's a good idea for everyone to check on their precinct before heading to the polls on Tuesday, just to make sure nothing's changed since the last time that you voted. Polls will be open on Tuesday from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. There will be 2 options for voting. Curbside is the safest option in light of COVID-19 because it involves the least amount of contact. To do this, just drive up to your assigned precinct, receive a ballot, fill it out in the privacy and safety of your own car, seal it in an envelope, and hand it back to the election official. All curbside ballots are put into the voting machine to be counted at the end of the day. And the usual in-person option will also be available, but we do ask that you wear a mask and practice social distancing while in the polling location. If you have any questions about Election Day, just visit cityofchesapeake.net/vote or call the voter registrar's office at 277-9797. Now for what's on the ballot. The position of mayor, 3 city council positions, and 4 school board positions are on the ballot. So let's meet the candidates. There are 4 candidates running for the position of mayor. The candidates are Richard W. Rick West is a retired Chesapeake Public School principal and realtor. He has been on City Council since 2008 and was named mayor in 2017. West is active on a variety of city boards and commissions, as well as the Virginia Municipal League Human Development Education Policy Committee. He is a lifelong resident of Chesapeake, is married, and has 4 children. Stephanie L. Olbachan is an auditor for IL 2000. She is a 15-year Chesapeake resident, originally from Minnesota. She serves her community through trash pickups and activities with PETA. Obachan has 2 children. Len Myers is a consumer rights lawyer and lead counsel with Fortress Proprietas PC. He volunteers at Calvary Revival Church, is a member of the Bar Council of the Virginia State Bar, and the Chesapeake Community Emergency Response Team. He has 2 children. Palmer Davis Smith is among the youngest candidates to run for mayor at the age of 18. Palmer is a recent graduate of Deep Creek High School. He's a lifelong Chesapeake resident who works as a lifeguard and has volunteered with the 4-H. There are 7 candidates running for 3 open city council positions. The candidates are Don J. Carey III is a retired NFL player. He's active in a variety of community groups, including New Chesapeake Men for Progress and the Food Bank of Southeast Virginia. He's a Chesapeake resident of 7 years who is married, has 2 children, and 1 on the way. Les Smith Jr. is an entrepreneur as a financial literacy associate and a retired Chesapeake Sheriff's Office lieutenant. He is active in many community groups, such as the New Chesapeake Men for Progress, the Fraternal Order of Police, and Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity. Smith is a lifelong resident of Chesapeake and has 3 children. Robert Ike Jr. is founder and president of Century Security Systems and a current member of Chesapeake City Council. He is a United States Air Force veteran who is active in the community through the Chesapeake Fraternal Order of Police, the Virginia Patriot Guard Riders, and more. Chesapeake is Ike's hometown, and he has 4 children. Dwight M. Parker is a retired Chesapeake Public School educator with 44 years of service and a current City Council member. He is a lifelong resident of Chesapeake. Parker is active with the New Chesapeake Men for Progress, a former president of South Hill Civic League, and more. He is married and has 2 children. S.C. Debbie Ritter is a current member of Chesapeake City Council with 20 years of experience. She is active in the community through the Elizabeth River Project, the Rotary Club, and more. Ritter has 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Victoria Vick Nichols works as a business intelligence analyst for Old Dominion University. She has lived in Chesapeake for 23 years and serves on the Animal Services Board and the Sign Sweeper program. Sharon the Crab Lady Johnson Clayton is owner of Eddie's world-famous Crab House. She is currently an appointed commissioner of the South Norfolk Revitalization Committee and has volunteered for the Chesapeake Public Schools and the At-Risk Children Volunteer Hygiene Initiative South Norfolk. She is a 27-year resident of Chesapeake and has 1 child. There are 6 candidates running for 4 open school board positions. The candidates are: Samuel Lee Boone Jr. is a senior trooper and recruiter for the Virginia State Police and a current school board member. He's a board member for Educational Services of Hampton Roads, the Multiple Sclerosis Advisory Board of Hampton Roads, and more. Boone is married and has 2 children. Victoria L. Proffitt is a former Chesapeake Public School educator and a current adjunct teacher at Tidewater Community College. She is currently chairman of the school board. Proffitt is active in the community through the CPS Education Foundation, the Chesapeake Clare Clinic, and more. She has 3 children. Angela Angie Berkheimer Swigert is executive administrator of the Congressional Prayer Caucus Foundation. Swigert is actively engaged with her church, her children's school, and as a volunteer algebra tutor. She is a lifetime resident of Chesapeake who is married and has 2 children. Gail M. Gilmore is a retired Chesapeake guidance counselor. She is the sponsor for various mentorship programs in Chesapeake Public Schools, as well as the Gang Prevention Mentorship Mount Disciples program. Gilmore is a 29-year resident of Chesapeake, is married, and has 2 children. Thomas Mercer Sr. is pastor of St. Paul's United Methodist Church and a current school board member. He is active in the community through the Southeastern Cooperative Education Program, the Great Bridge Battlefield and Waterways History Foundation, and more. He is married with 4 children and 2 grandchildren. Dr. Shirley P. Augusti is an educator and current principal of a K through 6th grade public school. She is a Chesapeake native who volunteers as a soccer coach, Sunday school teacher, for homeless programs, and more. Augusti has 2 children. Well, there's no shortage of new terminology in the age of COVID-19, and all the medical jargon can get very confusing. So one term that you may be interested in learning more about is contact tracing. We went to the Chesapeake Health Department's epidemiologist, Dr. Lisa Engel, to learn more.
In public health, we're trying to prevent something from happening. So in order to do that, what we do is we interview people with the disease and find out what their exposures were. So with like COVID-19, what we would do is we would call the person with COVID and we'd ask who they were around the 2 days before they came down with symptoms, and then who they've been exposed with symptoms, why they had symptoms. And we would then contact those people. We try to get the permission from the person, and sometimes it's easier if the person tells them before we do. But what we try to do is just let them know that we're trying to make sure that those people are safe and they stay home and don't expose anybody else. That's the main reason why we do contact tracing. And mask, the reason why you're wearing a mask is for other people. So the mask is to prevent you from giving your germs to anybody else. So what we need is everybody to wear a mask. Like right now, if I went up to somebody and they had a mask on, they aren't protected from me. I am protected from them. Okay, so the person wearing the mask is the one that is protecting other people.
We really don't take enough time to thank all the men and women who work so hard on the front line in this fight against COVID-19, particularly the nurses. Check this out. Last week was National Nurses Week, and in a show of solidarity and support, Chesapeake first responders, the police, firefighters, EMTs, they hosted a little parade around the hospital's parking lot. They put on their sirens and their lights, all as a way to thank the nurses at the hospital and at the Chesapeake Health Department for all that they are doing right now. It was a real upper for everybody. So a great show that we are all in this together. City departments have worked hard to maintain city services while keeping employees safe. A notable change recently was the suspension of some bulk waste items over the past few weeks, but Public Works is adjusting week by week to best serve the community. Here's Public Works Information Coordinator Jason Brown with the latest happenings from a very busy department.
One of the things that we've done in order to keep our waste management force safe and on the job is to reduce the amount of employees that work in a single truck. But in order to do that, we've needed to take more vehicles out of the bulk trash fleet and put them into the curbside brown bin pickup fleet, because the brown bin pickup is our most essential line of service when it comes to waste management. And we don't want to compromise the ability to be able to pick up brown trash cans on a routine basis from our residents. As a result, we've needed to make some modifications to the bulk trash pickup involving taking some of those items out of the collection service for residents until we get back into a more normal flow of business. But what we've seen recently is a spat of severe weather that's come through Chesapeake that's resulted in a glut of downed limbs, branches, trees, and yards and throughout the city. And in order to be able to remove some of that green waste, those branches and limbs from the yards of residents, we're able to do a 1 week sweep of that, May 12th to the 15th, where citizens can actually call those in like they normally would for a bulk trash collection, and we'll be able to get those off the curbside to help get that out of yards. Afterwards, we'll go back to the suspension of that. It'll be just standard bulk trash collection items, no limbs and branches until further notice. And to our credit, there have not been a significant degree of changes in our operations. Major projects, roadwork projects, emergency repairs, all of those different operations are ongoing. We've also done some things with the Chesapeake Expressway at the toll plaza over the past few weeks. We had suspended cash and credit card toll collections at the toll booths and used a pay-by-plate, Easy Pass, and Go Toll tolling only. We are going to return to cash and credit card tolling on May 11th at 9 a.m. as we, again, start to enact policies and procedures to bring services back to a more normal level for our residents.
The Planning Department is hosting a virtual meeting for the Indian River Planning Area Study. This study is evaluating current conditions along the Indian River Road and Military Highway corridor, as well as surrounding areas, to create a strategic plan. The plan will aim to help improve the quality of life in the area and to accommodate a broad range of future mobility options. So you can view this virtual meeting anytime now through May 25th by visiting the Planning Department web pages at cityofchesapeake.net. And finally this week, Chesapeake Television's Jim Hazel has a fun at-home activity that anyone can do: bird watching. Take a look.
Staying home or safe during the coronavirus pandemic has definitely been a challenge for us all, and a bit of a downer too. But spring is in full swing here in Chesapeake, and the birds are singing the songs of the season. So, as we continue to collectively fight the virus and stay healthy, we can also take a little time to enjoy the company of our fine feathered friends in the skies around us and in our parks and yards. Birdwatchers had their annual Global Big Day on Saturday, May 9th, counting and identifying birds of all kinds across the globe. It's not too late to get you or your family outside and experience the soothing sounds and colorful aeronautics Virginia birds add to our landscape. The Cornell Lab of Ornithology has some great free resources to help us and teachers get a handle on identifying birds and have some fun in nature's classroom as well. You can test your ears with Birdsong Hero, which is a great game for everyone. That's a red-winged blackbird. He's around here somewhere. The Cornell Lab also has a free app called Merlin to help you easily identify birds on your handheld device. Let's take a look at what bird buddies came to visit in my backyard and around the block over the weekend. Good morning, Mr. Brown-headed Cowbird. I just put this birdhouse up just a few days ago, and there's already somebody moving in. There's no cedar trees out back, but those are a couple of cedar waxwings. This guy giving me the stink eye is a common grackle. Let's see who moved in anyway. Oh, a house wren. This isn't woody, but it is a male downy woodpecker. A common species in the suburbs and cities is the mourning dove. Here's a couple of Carolina wrens stopping by for brunch. This female downy woodpecker likes to eat upside down. There's our mourning dove again, with his new friend, the red-winged blackbird. Just barely caught up with this Carolina chickadee. Visit the Cornell Lab's website for more info and birdwatching fun at ebird.org. For some reason, our state bird didn't visit us too much this weekend, and even the blue jay was a little too quick for this old bird to get a good shot of. But there's always tomorrow. And if you put some seed out, you'll get a few new visitors, make some new friends, and even get a free concert. For Chesapeake Weekly, I'm Jim Hazel. Don't forget to wear your mask.
Thanks, Jim. And remember, if you want more at-home activities that are free to do, You can find Jim's guitar lessons on Chesapeake Television's YouTube page. And of course, the Parks, Rec, and Tourism and the Chesapeake Public Libraries are all producing fantastic content and great activity options for you to do right from the safety of your own home. You can find all those on their social media channels. We hope that you're all staying well and staying safe while staying at home. Remember, if you have to go out, wear that mask. We will continue to bring you the latest from Chesapeake right here on Chesapeake Weekly. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Howdy folks, I'm Jim Hazel with Chesapeake Television, Public Communications. Don't forget to wear your mask, but I think we're alone now. I'll take this off. There's a lot of things you can do when you're having to stay at home during these pandemic times as they're known. But one thing I think a lot of you could try is to learn to play the guitar, so I'm going to be doing that over the course of the next couple of weeks. So there'll be a guitar chord of the day every day. The first one's going to be E, but you'll have to tune in to check that out. Just go to youtube.com/Chesapeake Television, all spelled out, Chesapeake Television, and you'll learn some chords. We'll start with E, we'll move on to A, maybe D, probably C for Chesapeake, and then pretty soon we'll all be rocking. There's a plane, there's a bird, so I gotta go, but so tune in, check that out, and stay safe out there, wash your hands.